It's an early start day, but not as early as I thought it was going to be. So that's good. And if the other car manages to get here before 9:30, then I don't have to drive. So that's another thing to kind of look forward to. So the clinic deal is in progress, but we get to deal with the other sort of situations of paranoia. So we're still kind of freaked out about the tire that's just kind of wonky in comparison to like the other tire. And then we have a little bit of an issue that we need to find some solution for. Because it's not just an isolated case.
At the end of the day, all of the driving happened without incident, no car accidents, no breakdowns, whatever. And the reason for driving happened without major incidents. There was a slight little disagreement with the way that things happened, but that's going to happen, or that's going to be resolved between those two parties, and I don't really have any say in that. So that's going to be a matter for a later time. And also nothing really happened as far as like stinging or swarming or like further infestation. The theory is that because they have now been disturbed, they will either try to rebuild in the same spot and then we just have to re-disturb them, or they'll move on, hopefully, because I don't really like to deal with wasps or hornets. Definitely not hornets. But yeah, both of those things are super mean. If they happen to get a bead on you. Hornets more, but wasps, sure. So what I want to focus on though is kind of what I want to work on for the next couple of weeks or so, which is kind of a resurgence of a program that I paid for but haven't really used up until now, which is Manta Pro, and that's because I want to work with fire. So the idea kind of looks like this, right? So if I just kind of get rid of this, let's add in our iconic UV sphere. And then if I hit my N tab and I go down to M and P, so Manta Pro, so I can do either simulation or effect. So I actually don't have a lot of familiarity with this panel because I have been working a lot with flip fluids, unfortunately, but I wanted Manta Pro for its fire performance. But I just never really got around to it because none of the projects since I acquired it at the same time as flip fluids, by the way, required fire. So what I've been using for liquids was flip fluids. But now that I actually have an idea for fire, let's see. So if I add a domain object, oh, you know what? I could do quick setup, and I want to do fire canvas. Oh, that just, okay, cool. Wow. So we get a force of some kind. We get a domain and a flow. All right, that sounds similar to our liquid situation. So we have our domain in which everything exists, and we have our flow in which we have the emitter sort of thing. Oops. Sorry, that's my headphones that I talked about in the last episode. So I'm getting worried about my mouse, by the way. Because not only do I have the hiccups, but I'm hitting the middle mouse button right now, and sometimes it doesn't grab on. Like right now. Okay, there it goes. Right? You see that? Sometimes it doesn't do it all the way. That worries me. Okay, so let's just see what this looks like raw. And let's back our camera up maybe and see what that looks like here. So if I go to the rendered view and I hit spacebar, yeah, that looks like fire. I mean, it looks like a lot of fire, but the idea that I have in my mind is kind of more like a fire necklace kind of thing. So what I'm looking for is a little more definition and maybe like a little more like stylization, so a little more like wispiness happening. So what I'm going to have to learn in the next couple days is how to fine tune these stats and maybe even do a little more, dare I say, sculpting, and try to see if I can kind of fine tune the look of the fire, because this looks like a pretty good, just sort of like prairie fire sort of thing. But for the idea that I have, it's a little too flat and generic. So we'll have to deal with that later. So yeah, that's the update.